Well, hello friends, it's Amy Frillici with the Gathering Inkspiration Stamp Studio, and today I want to show you how to make a masculine card. Oh my goodness, I feel like I never have enough of these cards. So when I saw this stamp set in the Celebration catalog, I knew, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I'm going to be able to make some kind of more masculine, manly cards with this stamp set. So let me show you. The stamp set is actually, it's called Epic Celebrations. And like I said, it's that Celebration stamp set. So you can get this stamp set for free with a $50 order anytime between now and March 31. So it's got this awesome guitar. If you look on Pinterest, I was kind of trying to find some ideas to help kind of get me going. And there are tons of ideas. A lot of people are kind of fussy cutting that guitar out. So that's a cool option. They've done some really kind of awesome like washes with that guitar also. Then we've got the You're Awesome stamp set or stamp, that Here's to an Epic Celebration stamp, some kind of like water splotches, and then the sneakers that we are using on our card, and then a pair of headphones too. So all of these things, or that stamp, stamp set, I guess I should say, are found in the Celebration brochure. If you happen to be flipping, oh good, I did it. So right here, the Epic Celebration stamp set, you can see it says in tiny print right there, free with a $50 purchase during Celebration. And here are some other awesome projects that were made by the Stampin' Up! Designers using that stamp set as well. So let's see, what else do I have to tell you guys about? Oh, the only other thing I'm going to tell you, because everything else is basically, if you can see, lots of cardstock. And then this is a piece of the Petal Palette Designer Series paper. It is the black and white paper, so stripey on one side, flowers on the other. We've made some cute cards with this floral paper too. You can color in with any color marker, so instead of white flowers you could make them whatever color you like. And the cool part is if you go out of the lines, it's really not a big deal because of the black paper, it doesn't show up at all. So we are not using this side today, but I had to mention that because I was just at an event where we did a bunch of coloring of those little flowers, and it's actually really, really simple to do. We are obviously using the stripe side on our card, but I want to show you, hopefully I can flip quickly, in our, yes, I did it. Okay, so in the Occasions catalog, that stripy paper, because I always feel like the paper gets a little bit lost in the pages of the catalog. So it is this paper, the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, and it is a little washed looking too. Like I'm see if you guys can see that. See, it's a little bit darker right there and a little bit lighter right there, and same thing with this one where it's a little bit darker and a little bit lighter. There are not defects in the paper. If you order this, that's how it's supposed to look. So just so you know that, but it's a black and white with some kind of floral and geometric, and then those stripes patterns on the Designer Series paper. And I can even show you, so here is an example on this piece. If I get up really close, can you see how that's a little bit washed out right there? So it's supposed to look like that. With it not all totally solid images. Okay, so just kind of know about that paper. It is very pretty, but people have been a little bit surprised, I think, when they open up the package and it's not all uniform looking on a big 12 by 12 piece of paper. There are some lighter and darker washes to it. So, okay, the other awesome thing that we are using are our new Stampin' Blends markers. And I actually, for the most part, this is a Night of Navy, but can you see how light it colored? And I went to use Night of Navy cardstock and I decided I didn't like it. So I thought, this is Marina Mist cardstock. I thought that worked a little bit better with that lighter color ink, mainly because I didn't do a lot of like shading and lighter and darker, and I only used the lighter color. If I go outside the lines, I brought my color lifter Stampin' Blends marker also, just in case, to kind of help clean up any edges. And actually the kind of cool thing about coloring with this one, it's a little bit forgiving too, because it looks a little grungy, and so if you kind of go outside the lines, you almost can't even tell, which I thought was very cool also. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do this, the stamping and then the die cutting first as usual. So I've just got a bunch of kind of extra I think, let's see, this one I'm going to stamp. Here's to an epic celebration. So let me get my black. I've got my basic black ink right here, and I'm just going to stamp. So tap, 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 pressing a little bit harder because this is that linen ink pad, not the squishy firm foam. Upside down, but that's all right because we're going to cut that with a circle. Okay, I'm going to set that guy aside. I'm actually going to move my card right up there so I can see what I'm doing next. Let's see, this piece is for my circle behind here, so I'm going to keep that to the side. Then I am going to stamp my sneakers in my basic black ink. Again, I'm going to press straight down and lift straight up, and we're going to do our coloring. But the other thing I want to show you while I have my ink pads out, I'm going to finish my stamping. On the inside, I stamped "You're Awesome," and then with those kind of water splotches around kind of the corners of the card. So I'm going to do that right now also. This is a piece of cardstock that measures 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and that's the piece that goes right inside here. Okay, so let's see, what do I need? I've got my "You're Awesome" stamp. I'm gonna flip this around so it's going the right way. Make sure I've got it straight up and down. Okay, I need to stand up to look at this, make sure I get it where I like. Okay, that looks good. And then I am going to use my Marina Mist ink. Get that guy open. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp these little water splotches just kind of on the edges. I thought it was just kind of fun. I like to decorate the inside of my cards too whenever I can, and this one seemed, you know, the sentiments went well together. So, okay, what else? I'm going to show you measurements before I do my coloring while I'm thinking about it. So this one, like I said, was the 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. The card base itself, I always love to show you guys this, is an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock, because you'd be amazed how many times people say, how do you cut a card base? So I'm always showing you guys, just so you know. Excuse me. Okay, so here's my 8 1/2 by 11 piece of cardstock. I cut this one in half at 4 1/4 inches, and then I scored it in half along the 11-inch side at 5 1/2 inches to make that crisp fold on my card. Okay, then the other size pieces that you need to know about are, this is a piece of Marina Mist cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 inches, and then the black piece layers inside there, and that measures 4 inches by 3 inches. Then the only other measurement size that you need is this piece of Designer Series paper that measures 5 1/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches, okay? And then everything else is just kind of scraps, just to make sure, you know, that things fit on the paper. Okay, so this is my Stampin' Blend marker. These are alcohol-based markers that come, this is my lighter Night of Navy shade, and then there's a darker Night of Navy shade, so you can do kind of some of that like lighter and darker shading. I didn't necessarily do that so much with this card. I guess because there's already so much detail on here, I didn't feel like I really needed to do that. But if you have not tried these markers yet, they are amazing. There's something about, like they keep saying, and I know what they mean, the way they lay the color down on the paper is so, it's like it just kind of comes out just where you need it. It's so, they're just so easy to work with. And can you see how I'm kind of using that fat tip of my marker? And it's funny how, wow, I have a hard time talking and doing this at the same time. I should have practiced that earlier. I've been practicing my coloring before I started my video. But it just, it works so well. Laying that color down, I think they're just so nice to work with, these markers are. So I'm just going to kind of color that in there. It's just how beautifully it kind of fills it all in too. Now I am going to use, oh gosh, I thought I was using that already. No wonder. Well, I used, can you see there's like a skinny tip and then kind of a fat, little bit more brush tip? This whole time I thought I was using, yeah, that's how much I paid attention to what I was doing. There, this is laying it down even better. Now I'm using that little bit fatter tip on the marker. And there's probably someone saying, Amy, you need to put the cap back on that other end. I think I'm going to do that right now. No, not that one. On this end right here is where I'm going to put that on. So yeah, it's like it just, oh, it comes out and like saturates the paper too, is another kind of point I like to make, because it's just, oh, I love these markers. And that's basically about it. That's all I did. If you wanted to kind of create some shadows, you could use your color lifter to take a little bit of ink off. I'm not gonna do that on this one just because I like how it looks just like that. I'm looking at my example, trying to make sure. All right, I think I did a good job coloring. So now we are gonna do our die cutting. Let me make sure I've got my pieces the right size. Okay. I have been fighting a cold, of course, for like a couple of weeks now, I feel like. And now, while I'm trying to film this video, you know that it's gonna like flare up. And I didn't bring my water over here. What a bummer. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna get through it. I hope. Okay, so I have my stitched shaped framelits here. And we are gonna use, whoops, this one right here is the third largest. So not the very largest, but the third largest size. And then to cut our sneakers, I'm gonna scoot this guy over. I wonder if I can fit them all on. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Then we need our layering circle framelits. I've got these two kind of pulled out already. So you can see this one was from right there, and then that one is probably like the second smallest is this guy that's going to go on our, I'm going to do that one. Here's to an epic celebration. And then this one goes on our sneakers. So if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, this is probably like the fifth smallest. You'll be able to tell when you go to pull these framelits. Just find the one that's going to fit around the shoe, so it just cuts around the edge. Okay. I'm going to put that guy right there. See if I can get him placed so he doesn't move. Oh, let's see. Am I going to be able to do this? I bet I am. If I put that guy right there, and then this one, so this is the second smallest stitched circle framelit. Okay, good. So there we go. We're going to get all of our die cutting done at once. So I'm going to carefully put that other clear cutting pad on top there, and we are going to crank this handle. Okay. All right. Oops. I'm going to pull these guys off right here. Move this stuff out of the way. Okay. And one more. There. Now we can get rid of the big shot and all of those pieces. Okay. We are ready to put our card together. Okay, so I'm going to start with my strip of Designer Series paper. I'm going to just run some snail along there, and I'm going to put him just kind of flush over on the left-hand side with about 1/4 of an inch showing on the top and the bottom and the side there, okay? Next, I'm going to add my basic black piece to my Marina Mist piece, okay? And then I'm going to pop this whole thing up on Dimensionals, because I thought at first when I was making this card, this Marina Mist layered on top of that Marina Mist, you couldn't see it very well, but I think now that I've popped that up on Dimensionals, it makes it pop up, obviously, and I think you can see it a little bit better. So we are going to do that here as well. So we're going to pop our Dimensionals on the back here. Okay. And then peel them off. Get these guys out of the way. All right, and add him to our card. Let's see, where do I like him? Maybe right about there. Okay, and then I put some, oh, and can you see? I meant to mention that too. Now this one's not too bad, but with these blends markers, you can see how much they saturate the paper. So you want to make sure to have some kind of a work surface underneath your paper when you're coloring, or you could kind of color through things. So you don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to just add some adhesive here, and I kind of took this and just kind of laid it on here at a little off center, I guess I'd say. And I'm not going to press too hard so that if I want to move it, once I get it on my card, I can. And then same thing with a little bit more adhesive in there. Same thing with that sentiment. Here's to an epic celebration. And I kind of did that right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a quick test to make sure I like how things are looking. I think that's good. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit more adhesive on the back of my circles. I'm going to put him right about there, and then one more. I love this stamp set. Oh my goodness. So fun to play with. Something different too, right? That kind of manly, right? Or boyish, manly, however you want to think of it. But blues, right? Blues and blacks. Then I am using, these are some of the Subtles enamel shapes. Can you guys see? They come in small circles, large circles, hearts, and then I've got a couple of stars left. So I am going to put a couple of these little stars. They already have glue dots on them, so you can just kind of peel them off the little clear sheet. Oops, I wonder if I can move. Maybe not. I'll have to move that over there instead. So I did this one a little bit differently, but that is good. So, oh, actually one more thing. So on the inside then we are going to put this piece right inside there. So I'm going to run my adhesive and then pop him inside here. And then we have a finished project. How cool is that? So if you have not tried these Stampin' Blends markers, you need to get your hands on them. You will love coloring with these markers. They are so much fun to play with. So as always, if you would like to purchase any of the products that I used on this card today, just go to my blog at gatheringinkspiration.com, grab the host code on the right hand side toolbar, and then there are links all over the place to shop online at my Stampin' Up! Website right from my blog. That's the easiest way to do. Basically, go to my blog for everything, gatheringinkspiration.com, and it'll get you links to everywhere that you need to go, including back to the YouTube channel so you can watch this video again. I will also include all of the details, all of the item codes for everything that we used on this card in the details to the YouTube video so that you can pull those up anytime you need them. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you were Inkspired today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.